Hello everyone, we are back. We have a brand new episode of Critical Role. I am so excited to jump back into the world of Ahriman. It's been a long wait. We've had several videos come out before that. I am Todd Kenrick. I am your host for this pre-show. Thank you so much for joining. If you're new and you don't know who I am and my history with Critical Role, I've been interviewing Critical Role since Campaign 1. I was actually in the room during Campaign 1's finale. Not in the studio, I was in a viewing room in the building and got to talk to the cast and kind of witness all of that. But I've been interviewing Matthew Mercer and the cast about their campaigns, about their animated series, about the video games, and everything in between. I absolutely love Critical Role, and I'm excited to get to keep on doing these pre-shows, which are a big passion project of mine. I've always wanted to do them, and I've been doing them since the start of campaign 4, which is really exciting to be able to just jump in. Previously, I was at Wizards of the Coast before a layoff sadly happened. I was covering D&D. I'm a founding member of D&D Beyond. And yeah, I'm just a big, giant Critical Role nerd. I also had a live play show that for a while took place in the same moments of the Mighty Nine. And there were some really fun moments in that live play show. I'll link to that live play show later on, but it was pretty funny how much really fantastic input, because I kept on asking very specific questions about Matt Mercer's world to Matt about like how many soldiers are in this city right now and just silly stuff like that. But I mean, it's like being able to do like a live play show with J.R.R. Tolkien, and then J.R.R. Tolkien gives you feedback. It's a pretty wild thing. So there's a lot to dive into. I've got a couple other videos and live streams that kind of talked about the importance of this specific episode, so we're going to go and break that down real quick. The previous episode, episode 10, was a little strange. We did witness a couple of things that were unusual things in the edit. So a lot happened, but one of those most notable things is in Campaign 4, episode 10, we had a pre-recorded, well, it's all pre-recorded, but we had a recorded break for the episode with Brennan Mulligan without the rest of the cast there, which was highly unusual. And then it ended without a cooldown, and also ended with a separately recorded Brennan Mulligan sign off without the rest of the cast. This either means that this episode was too long, might have been 5 or 6 hours, or there was a plot drop, a heavy plot drop that maybe they wanted to save for the next episode. Now, if you haven't seen episode 10, there's going to be spoilers galore, because we're winding up. This is our stream where we just kind of get warmed up for the big event, and I'm freaking excited for this episode because of the weird edits in episode 10, frankly. Because, yeah, maybe it was they did this edit for length reasons and they split this apart, or maybe they did this for plot-driven reasons. And also, very clearly by the actual thumbnail that we've seen in episode 11, which I'm using partially in this live stream, is we see the Schemers table with Liam O'Brien, and we've got the Soldiers table in the thumbnail. So this is going to be a split episode, I believe, obviously, between the Soldiers table and now transitioning to a 10-episode run with the Schemers, with probably pre-shows. Well, not pre-shows, but with kind of prologues having to do with the table of the Seekers. That's my assumption right now. I cannot shout out enough how much I'm really loving Campaign 4. Brennan Mulligan's doing a lot of fantastic work here. There's a lot of really good lessons learned from Campaign 4, a lot of great homebrew that we are seeing. And my assumption is a lot of this homebrew is like Chris and Jeremy Crawford, big heavies from D&D, weighing in on things, helping flesh out the world in a mechanical sense as well. So, we're going to get a split episode. That's my money on my bingo card. And let's go ahead and break down everything that happened. And I want to do a big shout out to Danny Carr. Danny Carr is, I have never met Danny. Oh, I think I met Danny once. But Danny Carr, to me, in a parasocial way, seems like the coolest person ever. Has really great breakdowns of each episode. I highly recommend you read those written breakdowns and summations by Danny Carr. I think they're fantastic. They're a nice They're a nice way to get ready for the episodes and kind of get an overview of all of the things that you might have forgotten. I read them myself. So big shout out to Danny Carr and the rest of the team at Critical Role and Darrington Press. If you want to see all those interviews with the cast of Critical Role, with people who are working on Daggerheart, be sure to check out the rest of my videos in this stream. Let's go ahead and dive in. We've got 78 people. That's huge. I'm always excited to see anybody on these live streams because I'm a giant nerd and this is my socialization. I really appreciate everybody. Super chats are a great way to support the channel, or gifting subs, or there's a bunch of weird different ways to do this on YouTube. And also the Patreon page allows me to continue to do videos like this, especially like 3-hour-long live streams and stuff like that. What else can we cover? Just excited. I hope everyone had a really happy New Year and holiday season. I know it's the darkest time of year for so many of us, so I hope we all got out unscathed. It was an intense holiday season. Sometimes I'm actually more happy after the holiday season is over than I am during the actual holiday season. I think that's a real weird thing. Mark Stewart, thank you so much for the super chat. $10. Wow, my money is on the plot drop. I don't disagree. And this is probably about Hal. I'm seeing a lot of speculation about Hal. I think from what I have noticed and heard from Thyazi, died to protect his brother, the real rebel the houses were after. Yep, this thought is going around the interwebs. It was also a theory that I think was also put out there by Character Sheet as well. I think they were referencing stuff. I would love to interview Danny Carr. In fact, we're going to start having on this show special guests, and if I'm ever out of town, I would like someone to actually host this show without me. But I would love to interview Danny Carr. I think Danny Carr is super smart, super talented, and we can always use more Danny Carr in our lives. That is my opinion. So great articles. Just I cannot live without them. They're fantastic. So yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, Mark Stewart. Super helpful. Really appreciate that. As to that theory, yeah, I think it makes sense that Thyazi Fang might have been, and this is very top of mind for anyone who's been watching Fallout. I'm not going to spoil Fallout, but it's top of mind of what if Thyazi Fang is not the leader of the rebellion? What if it's been Hal this entire time and his brother died for him to protect him? I think this is going to be a show that has plots within plots, schemes within schemes. So I think Thyazi necessarily being the leader of all of this is up for grabs. It could be a Hal. It could be somebody else. It could be a lot of things. I think it's definitely on the table that Thyazi Fang is not, in fact, the leader of this rebellion. And what a turn that would be. And what a mic drop for an episode as well. Now, it's a lot of speculation. These are all incredibly smart and fun live play D&D players. And Brennan Mulligan is at the top of his game in terms of being a game master and a dungeon master. And he is like me. I love plot. I love plot. Especially if it's going to be 3 years of a kind of a vibe like this, and coming from backgrounds dealing with film and television and everything else. Like I love twists. I love turns. And so far, especially moving towards the schemers table, this is where we're going to start figuring things out. This is why I've been enjoying Campaign 4 so much, is the intricacy, but also, frankly, Brennan Mulligan murdering it in terms of the Feywild. I know everyone else agrees, and the bar is already really high when it comes to the Feywild, with Matthew Mercer's portrayal of the Traveler, and everything having to do with the Traveler has been so fun. His own version of David Bowie. I cosplayed as the Traveler once for a live stream, which was really fun. I don't have the cheekbones of David Bowie, so I personally feel like I came up short, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We've got 100 people. Thank you so much for showing up every single week. I really appreciate all of you. I'm glad that you like hanging out. And if you have suggestions for the live stream, leave it in the comments. Put it in chat. I'm going to probably set up some kind of email account where people can also send feedback. I also have a Patreon page. Send me a message on Patreon. And we're going to just make this show better and better. But I'm going to start doing interviews, hopefully, on this live stream. I'm going to have guests. I'm going to also have a couple other surprises I can't tell you about right now. But it's going to be really cool. So it'll be really fun. Let me just dive into the overview for everybody. And again, inspired by the wonderful and talented Danny Carr. I want to shout out Danny Carr more and more and more and more and more. But I gotta say, Brennan Mulligan, killing it with the Feywild, killing it with red caps, everything else. Are ads on? Yes, I believe they are. Please confirm in chat, because as we all know, we've had some rough days where I live streamed for 3 hours and nothing came up. It was always a bummer. It happens to the best of us, I suppose. But yeah, I appreciate everybody looking out and reminding me to check to make sure ads on. Perfect. I also feel bad that you're getting ads. It's how we pay for the stream. You know, it'd be great to do a super chat only live stream, because make a ton of money on ads in the first place. So it's definitely something to consider, to turn them off possibly in the future if we've got enough subscribers, enough super chats, and that gets rid of ads for everybody. That would be pretty amazing. Actually, it'd be amazing if YouTube had a function where if you got X amount of super chats, everyone stopped getting ads. That would be wild. I think that would be amazing. So I think that would be a great function. Like, people just up front in the live stream, they're like, nope, I'd like to opt out for today. That'd be fantastic. So, all right, let's go ahead and go into the summary of Campaign 4, Episode 10, Blood for Blood. By the way, this is 2 days after is it really 2 days after Fang died? I'm not quite sure about that. Oh no, the prologue was only 2 days, so they're not cut up in terms of time. So we did see Azune is seeing his fellow soldiers at the Brethren Hall being fired, only to be recruited by, I believe, the Sons of the Dawn, the mercy company that is tied specifically to the Candescent Creed. By the way, Sons of the Dawn, anything that starts with the Sons of anything tends to be a bit dark and creepy, and a little scary for me. Bolaire's maneuvers. Bolaire is continuing his tour for Lady Comroy. Lady Comroy very specifically gets to check out and prick her finger on the pariah blade, and she wants to move it into her own specific wing. Murray is warned, don't go messing around with the Sundered Houses, by Dean Cora, trying to shut Murray down in terms of being a schemer. A lot of this is set up for the schemer's table. Now, Hal's dealing with, still dealing with his loss. He's with his daughter, and he's taking up Thiazi's Fang as a memorial. I think we're going to get a big lore drop in terms of Hal very soon, especially since he is part of the thumbnail of this upcoming episode. I think we're going to get pretty Hal-centric in the latter half of the episode. Now, we had a really cool battle at Castle Delwynny. I'm probably butchering that name. I apologize to everyone at home. But what basically went down is Wikander and Thimble just murder people left and right. Teor, Kattigan, Wulfric, all doing great. It was a really high-stakes battle. The party did face a basilisk. They did end up, Thimble ended up killing it, which was amazing. They utilized the Desperate Measures rules, and I can go ahead and break down what the Desperate Measures rules are. This is new homebrew. I don't think this homebrew goes too far. I know I saw some people in chat asking about that. I think it's interesting, and I think the Desperate Measures rules for Critical Role make a lot of sense in a world that is lethal, where it's so easy to die. There's virtually no resurrection magic of any kind. Octus was a one-off, and so having something where you can burn, you can decide to fail death saving throws to get maximum damage, to get a bonus to your attacks, and a variety of things like that. I think that's a real gambling type mechanic that's really exciting. You can really put yourself in danger by sacrificing death saving throws or deciding to fail them in advance. Is really scary Blood Hunter stuff. It really puts you in a dangerous situation. So that's kind of the new homebrew for Desperate Measures when it comes to death saves. And being able to do max damage is nuts. Getting yourself a bonus. Bonuses like that are pretty huge. Certainly combat is not scaled necessarily to include that, but we're living in a world where, well, you as the Dungeon Master scale. If you're introducing a homebrew rule, giving yourself the help action, advantage on a saving throw is huge as well. But the thing is, the Dungeon Master can always adjust for any kind of homebrew. This is homebrew that Brennan Mulligan decided to use. So Brennan Mulligan has created a world that is balanced for that. Would I use the desperate measures for a game where resurrection magic was relatively available, like Revivify? No, because then you can really cheese the death saving throw sacrifices, because you can probably pop someone up within a minute with that. And he mentioned, super chat by Charles2450, thank you, $2 super chat. And he mentioned is why Critical Role 4 Episode 11 was canceled last week. I didn't think it was canceled. I didn't think we were expecting an episode next week. Am I wrong, chat? They may have needed more time to shoot or edit because they've taken 2 episodes and slapped them together is what we're kind of going to get the vibe off of for this. The self-help action. I like it. I think it's effective. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and dive to the rest of it. Yeah, so they absolutely murdered the Basilisk. Big threatening mover issue that they had there. Tyranny almost turned to stone, but the will, kind of the magic and the will of her patron helped save her from that situation. Basically what happened, what we ended up seeing is Thimble was just murdering people left and right. They're now referring to themselves as the Stitched Banner. We're obviously still dealing with this power vacuum having to do with gods and everything else. One of the enemies actually had magical gauntlets that we've seen before that helped them lift up the statue and put it in the back of the wagon. My assumption, as I think everyone is that this isn't a statue. This is a petrified version of Teor's brother. And that's where we left off. And we're going to find out a whole bunch more soon. I've already talked about at length my views on this setting in general. One of those things is that belief deeply matters. I'm very suspicious as to whether the gods are actually gods at all. I think it's entirely possible that the gods in this show were actually mortal. And belief, the combined belief of so many people around the world made them godlike. The Celestials, when the absence of the gods suddenly going feral is unusual, and the fact that blood is connected to Wikander is strange. So if he got his powers, certainly he's an Asmar because of the blood of his grandfather. But where his sorcery power, which is typically a blood thing as well, calls into question, are the Celestials, quote unquote, really Celestials, or are they some form of construct as well? Robbie needs to roll his dice, not with his hands. There's some bad rolls, there's some good rolls, everybody. Yeah, we won't be skipping weeks for a long time, I believe, with Critical Role. So, Vic has completely turned against his house. Now, a couple of the scary things that we're dealing with right now is, well, we've got an invisible member of House Tachonis running around with tattooed face of a skull. I think she is the new big bad, and we gotta watch out for her when she appears. We got another super chat, Friend of Ninjas. That is a great name. I had a nice holiday, but I'm ready to get back to Ahriman. I am as well. I agree. I love this show. Right now, I am spoiled. I got Fallout, and I got Critical Role. And now, for those who are fans of the spy genre, we also have the Night Manager back. So I got too much media to consume, but I'm excited for it. So that is the breakdown of what happened last episode. Now, what do we think is going to happen in this episode? We did get a whole bunch of narrative level ups that did occur. I really like how we're doing that, where we kind of decide what the level ups will be ahead of time, what feats and spells, kind of an area of like how we're narratively going to make that sense. That's something that Brennan Mulligan has done before, and that's something that I'm going to do moving forward in all my games. And I've certainly always done that to a degree, but I like having a separate episode where they dealt with this very specific thing. So I think that's been really expertly done and really maintains the narrative. I am going to tell you I am working on something to share with all of you that will help us kind of chart what is going on in the world of Ahriman as we learn about it. And I also want to like start inviting people from the Wikias for Critical Role for Campaign 4 to be in chat as well, and possibly interview some of them because they are the experts. I think that would be really fun as well. So shout out to everyone who does a Wikia. You're an unsung hero of the Critical Role fandom. I really appreciate you. I'm reading your stuff all the time. You're doing fantastic work. Mark Stewart with a super chat, $5. Celestials and demons together, what a dichotomy to have. But could the demons also have vested interest in the Tachonises? Yeah, it's interesting. I think so. We have all these power plays, but between the sundered houses, right? What about the other entities in this world? What about the things that warlocks make their pacts to? What about demons? What about maybe construct-like entities? What about the very pure and specific magic that Teor seems to have? We haven't addressed those other outside influences. And look how important the Feywild is. So I think we have a lot of supernatural entities that have a lot of interest in the goings and comings of what happens in Ahriman itself. And that's going to be interesting to explore. Cassius335, thank you again for another £2 super chat. I think it's £2, right? I wonder if any of the new Unearthed Arcana classes will be in Critical Role 4. I doubt it. So just to be clear, Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins now work at Darrington Press. They're working on Daggerheart. And certainly they're making homebrew materials for their D&D game, Campaign 4. They are not working on Unearthed Arcana that exists right now. So a lot of the Unearthed Arcana that you are currently seeing that's appearing, I don't believe that's been touched by Chris Perkins or Jeremy Crawford at this point. But I could always be wrong. I sincerely doubt that like the Unearthed Arcana that dropped today has any connection in any way to Critical Role. So yeah. We got some other questions. I'm just checking out. Yeah, bidet, everybody, bidet. What do you think about the arcane writing Teor spot mid-fight was? Yeah, there was pages with arcane writing. I have no idea. Yeah, possibly a way to help the statute people for sure. That might be a thing. Maybe Teor is his own god because he's got a big kitty energy. It's a solid drop. I love that. That's pretty fun. Shout out to Travis Willingham. Travis is so good at role-playing characters and not pulling focus and being hilarious. And I don't know. I love seeing Travis at the table. I think he's a very good example of sharing space at a table and energy. That's something that's popped up a lot. But I am also pretty obsessed with, as an example, Sam Riegel with Wakander's background, with the Candescent Creed, and creating his own fictional religion and adding to the world building of that universe. I love it. There's such great examples of things where people are yes-anding. Another thing I love is that Taliesin went to Brennan Mulligan. He's like, hey man, can I play a magical mask? And Brennan Mulligan's like, yeah, let's figure it out. That is how you be a dungeon master. I would play an awakened raven and a harpy or an awakened crow. I've played sentient swords before. So think outside the box when it comes to D&D and your live play game, certainly, but the games are on your table. You can get a lot of fun and mileage. And I do suspect the chicanery of Bolaire is not over. This is not going to be the last body that Bolaire possesses. I can see him possessing a villain. I can see him possessing one of our heroes. I could see him doing a variety of things that might just be mind-blowing. Can you imagine if somehow he shared space somehow with one of the current cast, as he is their mask, he's controlling them, but they're also sentient at the same time, somehow doing like a double class within a single body. It could be fun. And I know we're going to get into some nasty stuff when he runs into the other masks. And do the other masks also look identical to Bolaire's mask? Can that happen? Can someone literally tear Bolaire off of the current corpse he's on and then apply a different mask and everyone be fooled? I don't know. I think it's one of those things like Chekhov's gun. If you see a gun show up in the first act, it's going to go off in the third. I think when you introduce a character who is an ancient, well, not ancient, but a mask that was designed to kill a god, and he has brothers and sisters out there, that's going to be a plot point, kids. The other thing that we've been talking about, and I think we've all been speculating, is those masks by the halflings in a theater-like experience were designed to kill the god of trickery, and now they say the god of trickery is dead. I don't buy it. It's a god of trickery. Saying you're a god of trickery and then saying something's a god of trickery and saying they're dead is like, hey, Loki's dead. Like, Doomsday is coming up. If they kill Loki in Doomsday, it's going to have zero impact. They got to lock Loki up in a prison because I will accept no Loki deaths in the next movies. I won't believe it. It will have no impact. I've seen Loki die 8 billion times. We can't do it. So, I love the Star Trek where Chekhov finds a gun. How did they not do that episode? They must have done that episode, right? Just as a wink and a nod. What else? Yeah, so that's my theories. I am going to hopefully have some really cool stuff that outlines the world of Ahriman in a permanent fashion for everybody. Maybe that'll be posted on the Patreon page, or I'll post it to my own personal page. Not quite sure as of yet. So far, the Doomsday trailers have been really fun. I agree. Darkstorm Knights, and I forgot how much I absolutely am obsessed with the X-Men. I gotta tell you, that first X-Men movie was amazing. It's amazing. And by the way, big shout out to Blade, because Blade was, I really feel like Blade started it all for Marvel. I think what really started serious dark Marvel movies was Batman Begins, The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan's trilogy certainly cemented all of this with dark, gritty, realistic comic book movies. Blade coming out changed the game, and that's why we basically saw all the X-Men in dark leather for those first three movies. But the casting for X-Men, insane. Patrick Stewart. Wow. Oh, The Crow. Absolutely. The Crow is the first. Yeah, we have to. It's The Crow. You're right. And I'm a massive Crow fan. I had Crow posters all over the place. I had the soundtrack. I still watch The Crow. It still makes me pretty sad. Constantine's another good example of, Constantine's aging a little bit, but when you watch Constantine, is the narrative outline and structure and pacing that all comic book movies adopted. Constantine was way ahead of its time. So I'm really disappointed about the Blade movie as well. And Herschel, he was perfect for that role. I think he may still show up in a Midnight Suns movie, but we will see. But I was very excited to see the X-Men show up again. I know we've killed Magneto and Xavier again a billion times, but I'm ready for one more row. I hope all of you are as well. We got 244 people in chat. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you. If you want to get a shout out, if you want to add a question or a statement, super chats are a great way to do that. Sorry that my nose is itching so much today. I think it's like a nervous thing. I get a little nervous when I do these live streams. So if I seem a little bit high energy, it's just performance anxiety. So, the Constantine TV show was really, really, really good. And I'm glad the voice actor actually went on to do little cameos in Arrow, as well as doing Justice League Dark series, and a little bit of a crossover moment with my boy Lucifer. So That's been great. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to get that Constantine sequel, but we will see. It would be great to have it, though. To get Old Man Constantine, essentially, would be fun. So, what do we think is going to happen in this episode? We're going to wrap up whatever is going on with Teor's brother, Sid. I think he'll probably come out of whatever petrification he is currently in. And I think we're going to get some lore drops. We're going to get some information, or maybe even attacked by the Invisible Woman right now. Not talking about Sue Storm. That has the tattooed face from the Tachonis family. And from there, I think we're going to move over to the schemers table, and then we will get very spooky with all the weird political machinations that are going on in the city. I'm ready for Bolaire and Maggie, Murray content. I think that's got to be amazing. I'm excited to see them come back. So, but again, I'm very curious what everyone thinks in chat right now. We can set up a couple of polls if people are excited for that kind of stuff. Yeah, finding out what's going on with that hospital, that clinic. I want to really find out what's going on with the weirdness having to do with stitching demons into people's shadows. That kind of stuff is interesting. We've got a lot of parallels with Peter Pan. And that's another thing that we've seen. With Thimble, Thimble is very, 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 very Tinkerbell kind of coded on top of everything else that we've seen, obviously being a fairy. But we also talking about her sword being powered by belief, and very specifically in Peter Pan, there's a moment where Tinkerbell is dead, and Peter actually breaks the fourth wall, which is the first time I think I've ever seen that in a novel. Peter Pan breaks the fourth wall and asks the kids reading the book to clap to show that they believe in fairies to help resurrect Tinkerbell. This whole concept of belief mattering kind of feels like we're between Lord of the Rings and Peter Pan right now in terms of how the rules of this universe works. So, yeah, Necromancer Lady is, I think, our new big bad for the time being. It'll be interesting if that big bad moves on to go over to the city instead, if they actually go back and the schemers have to deal with her. I'd love it if the schemers, for some reason, ended up running into the gnome's 3 daughters on top of everything else. I think we're going to start seeing what Brennan Lee Mulligan had previously referred to as arrows whizzing by one party and landing next to another, which I think will be really funny. So, like, having plot lines move over in the night. So, is anyone else chat live in Seattle? Yeah, we got a lot of Seattleites in chat. Actually, everyone shout where you're from. I love hearing about people from all over the world doing all this stuff. Hanging out and chat with me. I really appreciate it. Hey, this is like fantastic for me. This is my socialization, getting in to hang out with critters. Again, some of the most positive moments I've had with any community has been with the Critical Role folks like you, with critters. I went to C2E2. I interviewed tons of Critical Role cosplayers. That was such an amazing and positive experience in my life. Whoa! Jersey, Mississippi, Austin, Ontario, Missouri, Pennsylvania, Uruguay. People from England, Phoenix, Portland, Oregon. Ooh, I miss Portland. Sydney, Australia, Arizona, California, Millennium, California. I feel that. The Great White North, Toronto. Big shout out to Toronto. I seem to only know people from Toronto these days. Glasgow, awesome. Quebec, again, awesome. Thailand, Monterey. Oh my God. Kansas, Oregon, Alberta. Isn't that insane that we're all here in the chat right now from all over the world? Norway. From the 9 hells. Yeah, Illinois. San Diego, Japan, Oklahoma, Tacoma. Damn. What an awesome roll call of what? Yeah, everyone showed up. We're all hanging out. You know, like a classroom only can seat 30 people. We got 239 people from all over the world. Florida, Arizona. What's good from England? See, that's nuts. We have to like take a moment to appreciate what weird world we live in, that we have this many people from all over the world just coming together, right? Just because we're excited for a show to come out. We're just so excited for a show to come out 2 hours in advance of the show that we're willing to hang out before watching 5 hours of a show. Manchester, Turkey. So thank you. This is like, man, I'm gonna have to do a roll call every live stream. $2 super chat from JTL XPE. Are people too harsh? Oh, window closed. Are people too harsh on Aabria's performance in Critical Role? Yeah, if they're being harsh, I feel like Aabria gets a lot of weird negative feedback from folks, and I don't understand it. Aabria is one of the best players and dungeon masters I've ever worked with. I actually hired Aabria for our Gen Con show with the Baldur's Gate 3 cast. I don't know if you knew it, but I produced that. I had Neil Newbon as Asterion, Sam Bayhart as Karlak. We had Anjali as I don't want to ruin her character, and we had Brennan Mulligan, and I don't want to ruin his character. But they're on the live play show at Gen Con. It was really cool, and I was the one who produced it, and that was amazing. Aabria was the dungeon master and absolutely killed it every time. And to be quite frank, we wanted to keep the cast completely local for the Magic Con version of the show. I don't think that's spoiling anything. So we had a Magic Con Baldur's Gate 3 cast show, and we wanted to keep it all local for basically plane tickets are expensive. So Jeremy Crawford was already going to be in town as well, and it was a great time to switch things up in terms of Dungeon Masters. And Jeremy Crawford murdered Magic Con. He was so good. It was such a, and obviously I hand everyone the story beats and everything else when it comes to these shows, but Jeremy Crawford killed it at Magic Con. And then we did, at MCM London, and then we had Magic Con, got Aabria to Dungeon Master. Really fun with the cast of Baldur's Gate 3 cast again. Anyways, I'm a big fan of Aabria. Aabria does good work. Yeah, everyone. So yeah, I don't want to get into the absurdity and the weirdness that people kind of project on the Critical Role. People get really mean about random things, and about fandoms can get really toxic. The Critical Role fandom for me is one of the most positive and kind I've ever experienced. I've not had to deal with negativity coming from the Critical Role from critters ever, and I'm thankful for that. But I'm also not in a position where I get highly scrutinized in the way that every single person who sits at that table ultimately gets criticized or scrutinized. I remember a time where main cast members of Critical Role continuously got crap. Because people just wanted to other them, to make them different, or to like just be angry or jealous, and that shit happens. Especially when you start getting millions of fans. Obviously, not everyone's going to be a good actor, but 99.9% are. That's just the nature of fandom, and sometimes people just don't don't realize that we're human beings. Sitting up there, being on a live play show like Critical Role is terrifying to me. And to a lot of people I know, to be up there, to be scrutinized that harsh, like that intensely, is wild. I get stage sick right before I go on stage. I get stage fright, and it's awful. Now, once I start doing something like a live play show, I get over it. But I don't. Man, being a performer, performing for 5 hours straight with that many people watching you, so hard, so scary. Just be kind. When in doubt, remember that everyone you see on the internet, including yourself, is a human being, and be kind. It's the best gift you can give to anybody, is kindness. And assuming positive intent, we have so many... In this world, we have so many black and white villains. I would argue the world is back in its villain era right now. And those villains are not anyone that we watch on TV right now. we have such bigger things to worry about. So just be kind and love each other is the message. Hey, listen, I will have never characterized myself as lawful good until the last 5 years. But now I'm like, because I thought I was just like, I'm like, yeah, I'm chaotic evil or chaotic neutral. I'm a wild card. And now I'm like, I'm lawful good. I'm lawful good. I am lawful good. I'm at least I'm chaotic good more likely. I'm chaotic good with some rules. So, yeah. And if you're going to be devil's advocate, absolutely, Mark Stewart, do it with empathy. Just be kind. It's a gift that gives you something. It gives them something. It's like being a tank in D&D. I always love bringing up the story about James Wyatt, who is on the D&D design team. He said, because I always talked about how much I like being tanks. And he's like, Todd, tanks are kind of selfish. And I'm like, what? And he's like, well, the great thing about being a tank is you got your action to do something, whether it's attack or cast a spell, if you're like the artificer armorer. But then when the monsters and the villains attack, they're probably attacking you, and you get a second turn narratively because so many are focused on taking you down. And I thought, chef's kiss. The most selfish thing you can do at a D&D game is be a tank and not be selfish. What a wild concept. So, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. That's a wild, dantastic DM. Thank you so much. And thank you. He's saying preach. Yeah, I want to interject more positivity. I've had a really rough 2 years, and I've had rougher times than... Well, actually, this is probably the roughest 2 years of my life. But... And I've been... And I lived in an abandoned building and saw a lot of really sad crimes and stuff. But the thing is, I learned, I think the thing I've taken away the most this last 2 years is wallowing in that shadow and darkness, or taking it out on other people, which I've not done. I think that's the dark side. That's hard to ever come back from. The best thing you can do for yourself sometimes is just being positive for other people and helping other people. If you yourself are drowning, honestly, sometimes the best thing you can do to feel human again and to feel like you have some kind of agency when you are feeling helpless is to help others. Almost every single time, the thing that helped me when I felt helpless was finding a way to help someone else. So, I know you didn't come for a speech, but it helped me get out of my head. Depression can cause you to be self-obsessive. Dark times can as well. It's really hard. It's hard for everybody. It's a hard time for everybody. I'm still unemployed at the moment. Hopefully some good news on that front very soon. It's been 6 months. And, even if I do take a job, I'm going to keep on doing this stream. I'm not stopping doing this stream. We're doing all of campaign 4. Doing a pre-show every single day, everybody. So that's how it's going. We're sticking with it. We'll stay for a speech. I appreciate all of you. 267 people in chat. That is wild. Thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate it. And thank you again to everyone doing super chats. I want to find ways to shout out you more in a lot of different ways. Also, I appreciate the more people we have in chat, the more people voicing their opinions. This helps everyone in the stream. The more people we have here, the more of a community we're growing, and the more great advice I'm getting. Frankly, you're doing half my brain power for me, because people are bringing up lore. People are bringing up different ideas and concepts in chat. You are helping me just as much as I hope I'm helping you. Trust me. I'm reading chat. I'm seeing the cool things you're saying all the time. And I'm like, holy shit, they're right. Like, continuously that's happening. So you're doing me a great service. So even if you can't do a super chat or gift subs or anything else like that, you showing up and being in chat, you have no idea. You're doing my job for me. is basically what I'm saying. Pre-show every day with Todd. That would be... No, I'm not doing it every day. I'm doing every day that's the Thursday. Cool your jets. I don't think people want to hear from me every single day. I appreciate you, but I don't think that's needed. Thank you so much, Treasure Elin. Member for 2 months. Rolling with advantage. You're a YouTube featured live stream. Way to go. Thank you so much. Oh my god, your local game store burned down 2 weeks ago? That sucks. I hope they had really good insurance. What happens if Wikander's grandpa gets loose? I'm sorry I'm laughing. AKA Flop85. What happens if Wikander's grandpa gets loose? I almost want... I'm pinning this message. I don't... This is like a prompt for a movie. That's a whole episode. What happens when Grandpa gets loose? Let's shorten it down. When Grandpa gets loose. Wikander's grandpa is going to murder an entire borough of the city. Like if the group has to kill Wikander's grandpa in an episode because he is just on a juggernaut, frenzied werewolf-like tear through the city, sign me up, animate it, turn it into a spinoff. I will watch that show. Holy shit. Wikander's grandpa has several rows of teeth. You know what? That's such an easy thing for me to forget and ignore. And all of us, the looming threat of Wikander's grandpa. The grandpa is a threat to everything that we know and love. It's gonna be a messy Thanksgiving. Yeah, one-shot potential. Throw Wikander's grandpa from train. There's got to be something really funny we can do with that, right? Yeah. I mean, they have... Sorry. Chat, you're killing me. DCIHWB. They've been milking him daily. What happens when they suddenly stop? You know what? Wikander's grandpa has every reason to destroy the city, actually, now that I think about it. Like, you know what? It's an interesting point. We've only been told that the celestial creatures went rabid when the gods left. Maybe this is just a cover story from Wikander's grandma. Maybe he's a good guy and he's just feral. Yeah, I'd be mad. If I was Wikander's grandfather, I'd be rabid too. I think Wikander's grandpa is Jaws. Literally. Wow. Sorry, you cracked me up. Mark Stewart, when Wick's grandfather gets loose, a great one-shot. 100%, Mark. That's, wow. All right. Sorry for the tangent. That made my day. I don't know why. I like the whimsy. I like the whimsy of that comment. That was really fun. So, yeah, Thimble will just kill. Thimble is racking up bodies. I'm surprised Thimble's not getting a tattoo on one arm for every kill. Maybe he gets some Werther's Originals. Those things were disgusting. Do they still make Werther's Originals? Those are Hell's Candy. Unless Werther sponsors this live stream, and then maybe I'll think differently about it. Werther's, big Werther's. Get Werther's to sponsor the Critical Role pre-show stream. Unofficial. Yeah. Charles, 2450 with $20 super chat. Wow. That is huge. What happens when Wick's grandpa gets loose? To quote a movie, human sacrifice, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. I always appreciate a really dope Ghostbusters reference. Go watch Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is great. Slow start on Thimble on the kills. Yeah, Thimble's had some rough times, but now Thimble's John Wicking everything in her way. So I can't be on board with the Werther's Originals, folks. I'm actually doing... I guess the curse of doing keto is that you tell everyone else that you're doing keto, and people who are on keto won't shut up about being on keto, and I am fulfilling this prophecy by being on keto right now and telling you about it, so I'm really sorry, everybody. Just that's my cool diet and stuff. I'm doing a lot of healthy stuff. After New Year's, I have cut out sugar. I've cut down carbs, doing a little bit of keto, working out, no drinking. Never smoked. I didn't smoke before anyway, so no loss there. And just living a very healthy, moderate lifestyle. And I'm feeling great. I'm waking up at 7 in the morning with tons of energy. It's almost annoying. I'm incapable of sleeping in. So be healthy. Drink lots of water. That's my advice to you. I wonder if Hal is going to use his new sword. I hope so. I wonder what it does. Not a fan of caramels. I'm not. I'm addicted to Skittles. I love red vines as a straw for Pepsi or Coke. Pepsi is better than Coke. Just calling it out there right now. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the drinking. It affects my sleep and everything else. So I got a lot of friends who got away from it because it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough stuff. Yeah, balance over everything. I like sleep. I think I value sleep more than anything. There is no drug that's better than a normal sleep. You know, even like with melatonin and everything else. Yeah, Pepsi's better. Sour candy is really fun. Loved sour candies. So, we're at 5:19. Wow, we're killing the time, everybody. 5:19. We are almost an hour and a half from the main event. I'm very excited. Taste the rainbow. Skittles. Skittles are the best. I used to eat a bag of Skittles because I was hypoglycemic and then go party. It made me so hyper for like hours. It's a bag of Skittles. Pretty weird. I think they've been setting up the schemers for a while. I think a lot of people were thinking schemers. We had a lot of heavy seeker content in the overture, so I think it makes sense. You should take Travis some Werthers, and next time you see him, I don't mess with Travis. I am taller than him though, which is weird because in my head Travis is so much taller than me. I saw him this winter, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm taller. Because Travis in my mind is huge. I'm 6'5". If you think Travis is big, sorry folks. If you run into me at a con, it's going to be eye-opening. So, hey Todd, have you reviewed? Yeah, I did check out the new Unearthed Arcana. I did do a live stream about Unearthed Arcana. I really like the Warlock. There is a lot of weird potential friction between the Warlock's kind of pet class and also having a familiar on top of everything else. So I think that's going to be a little weird. Who do you think a character may die early, and who? It's really hard to say. I got to tell you, Wick is rolling previously really shittily and is definitely a glass cannon. It's a hard thing to guess. Do I ever look at any Kobold Press stuff? Not very often, as much as I would like to. I think Kobold Press makes some excellent content. Yeah, so I think in the middle of the show, we are going to jump into the soldiers table, and then we're going to switch over to the schemers. Wow, my nose is itching. I'm having like an allergic reaction. I'm so sorry, everybody. Do I have it? Real beat. 1 second. I apologize. Sorry about that. Had to just briefly dip out and scratch my nose. It's driving me insane. I don't know why this happens. I suspect sometimes it's the lights or there's something in this room that is kind of triggering it. You're not late, you're early. Hey, if you're in this stream right now, you're early. We got 282 people. Let's try to get to 300. I mean, why not 400, everybody? Why not 500? Why not 1,000? Let's build the community up. My little brother is 6'7". In my head, Travis is bigger. I know. Travis also just looks ripped. So I'm really excited. I'm working on a new series that's going to be a little bit based off of the things that we experience in Critical Role. I don't know if that's going to be interest for everybody, but I think it's going to be an ongoing series of Critical Role at your table, something along those lines. I don't know if that's going to be of interest to all of you, but I think there's something very educational about Critical Role that's kind of being underserved in terms of like breaking it down. So yeah. Oh, welcome so much, Mark Stewart. Welcome to Roll with Advantage. Yeah, and Travis, man. Travis characters and sentient weapons. It's an ongoing issue. Leaving a thumbs up is free for everybody. And always remember to be positive. Sometimes I see some negative stuff out there on the internets and the YouTubes. And that's great for some people. I also see like things like headlines about D&D or Critical Role, and it's like, oh my god, the scandal continues, and it's just always BS, and that's kind of content I can't stand. Also, never be negative to each other. Never be negative to other creators in the space. I think that's just punching down or punching sideways. What's the term? The old term is crabs in a barrel. It's just so unhealthy. Just do your best. And that's all you can do. And be kind to each other. You know, it all comes around in the end. I firmly believe that. So, by the way, or saying nothing is like a free action. Kindness is a free action too. So, be kind to each other. You don't have to be mean. No one likes meanness, and they don't respond to it. Well, they do. Some people do respond to it, but you know that if you have an audience of mean people and people who talk crap about other people, they're gonna talk crap about you. It's kind of a weird thing. One of my life lessons in my old years is the people who who talk crap about other people all the time are talking crap about you. And that's a lesson I think we all had to learn going up through like elementary and middle school, primary school for some folks. And high school is sometimes you had a friend that was a jerk, and then, but they were never a jerk to you, but maybe they weren't a jerk to your face. Yeah. So much of your frame of reference and your perspective on life also can be your friends. I'd rather have no friends than a bunch of mean friends, because you absorb that over time. When are we going to get a weed-focused monk class? We already got Drunken Master. I don't know, man. I think monks don't get high. I think that's super important for them. Drunken Master, even that terminology for martial arts had nothing to do with drinking. It's actually a really tough form of martial art where you're capable of punching from virtually any angle, and the style of it is supposed to be very confusing to other people that you're fighting. So and I tried to learn some moves from drunken boxing, and the amount of core strength you need to accomplish it, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. So yeah, there are no monks that get high and then fight. It's not good for you. Weed-focused druid class makes a lot more sense. So, weed-focused ranger that never really does anything. Warrior of the purple sticky punch. That's pretty funny. Hey, don't be mean. You don't have to be mean. Remember, wherever you go, yeah, wherever you go, there you are is 100%. You're not escaping yourself or your own bolt BS. Druids are the weed masters. Yeah, I agree. I think that makes way more sense. Correct on all accounts. Is anyone else getting spammed by robocalls? I've been offered about 80 billion loans every day. Getting a little tired of it. Why even have a phone? I appreciate you, super. I appreciate all of you, chat. So what shall we talk about? I think we have already kind of outlined what we suspect is going on. I think we may. God, wouldn't it be good if we had a guest appearance? What if we had a? That's another topic. I'm curious who we will get for guests, special guests in the show. Wouldn't it be cool if Sid was being played by somebody else? Maybe they get Sid out of being a statue, and then we've got a guest star playing Sid. Could be cool. I don't think so, but I would like to see some guest stars for one-offs. I'm scared for Marisha's character. No, I like Marie. She is close to dying from Primus. Her character is a bit brash, so if it keeps it up, yeah, she will be in constant danger. That's true. Buckaroo Banzai is the weirdest movie ever made. I'm excited. I've been needing this for weeks. Oh man, you were a guest. What class would you like to play? Ooh. Why do you do this to me? Felicia Day would be great. I don't know Felicia. I've worked and interviewed with Felicia. What class would I maybe I am playing Sid. That is the long game. I appreciate you. Cassius, that is the long game I tend to play. That is true. I guess it would depend on what table I was at. I love Warlocks. I could play one of the other masks to Bolaire. One of Bolaire's brothers or sisters would be fun for a one-off. I could play something super powerful or something super weak. Like a character that seemingly has no consequence. Like, I don't want to take... I don't care about the roles. I always think about... And I don't think it would necessarily be a comedic role, or maybe it would be. I think I would do... One of my favorite moments in Critical Role is honestly seeing Chris Perkins play Spurt. The Kobold. What an unhinged performance and what a random thing to do. And it was so fun. I would play probably a monster stat block. You know? I would do some character acting. If I was doing a one-off, I don't care about building up my character. I care about being part of the narrative. Yeah. Cassius 335, Todd Kenrick. That was Stephen Koppel 643 who said that. Though I do. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry for getting that wrong. Sprunt. I love Spurt. Spurt's long lost cousin. Think of all his cousins must be dead from now. Understand that Spurt, the average life canonically for Spurt and the kobolds in that world is 11 days. Emily Axford, yeah, 100%. Neil Newbon on Critical Role would be fun. Right? Neil Newbon on Critical Role. Cast of Baldur's Gate showing up. Critical Role, just throwing it out there. I would love to show up to Critical Role and die in 5 minutes. Ugh. Everyone else would be like, who is this? Who is this a-hole on Critical Role? Jennifer English, fantastic. Jennifer English, good egg. Jennifer English. Ben Starr? Ben Starr would be good. I got to hang out with Ben and Jennifer for an interview, and that was a lot of fun. So good guess. Anyone from the Dimension 20 cast, honest to God, wow, what a bunch of talented people. Will Wheaton and the curious case of Will Wheaton's dice. How Will Wheaton hasn't leaned into it and just started a dice company, I don't know. Off of Will Wheaton's fame for dice, and not that anyone would buy his dice, though ironically maybe. Hey, Chaos is 335. My ideal role in Ahriman would be an orc soul coin maker. That would be, yeah, that would be pretty cool. I love soul coins. I played Wildman game and a couple newspaper company. Yeah, Zorhas. Woohoo! Everyone in the game, couples would be sharing the news and the story of a lifetime, because it would be, because they're only 11 days. I love it. Yeah, Will William would be fun. Will's been super healthy, by the way. Will celebrated 10 years of sobriety. What a massive achievement. Good for Will Wheaton. He looks so happy in all the photos. And he looks so healthy. Just big shout out to Will Wheaton. I'm always excited about hearing people being healthier. I always find that inspiring. Will Wheaton dice, man. Easy sells. Hey, these dice were personally cursed by Will Wheaton. Or Will Wheaton's dice company could sell dice that Will didn't touch. But he touches other dice. I feel like Will Wheaton not touching dice, if Will Wheaton's near dice and doesn't touch them, that's a blessing. And you should have to pay more for those dice. Right? Does that make sense? I'm going to call it Will Wheaton. I've never met Will Wheaton. I'm just going to propose a wildly stupid idea to Will Wheaton as a complete stranger. Black coffee. It's disgusting. We got so many people. We got 270 people in chat right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all you. And again, thank you so much for the super chats. That's huge. We are going to have a lot more live streaming content coming out around Critical Role. Hopefully, Darrington press releases like Daggerheart, stuff like that. I feel like people really like the live streams. They certainly don't get a lot of views in terms of the VOD by the nature of live streams. I just, I don't know. Twitch just isn't my audience. I feel like the audience is here. But don't forget to subscribe. Oh, this is really important, folks. Hit the bell notification. I'm not joking. You almost never see a notification from a creator now unless you've hit the bell notification on this video. So if you look at the it's great to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. I will not abuse it. I promise. Send me a message in chat. If I'm publishing too many videos, you let me know. But I get like 1% of my subscribers see my videos go live. Like, it is insane on YouTube right now. So, cutting edits, painting minis. Yeah, I suck at painting minis. Bro, having you on in the background, the way my parents had Rush Limbaugh on. Oh no, don't compare me to Rush Limbaugh. But I get it. Thank you for ringing the bell, Cassius. Yeah, I'm going to do the dark, gritty, salacious headlines live stream. And I'll tell you what, and I'm going to be red in the face the whole time and sweaty and just yelling about. I'm going to yell about all those demons taking all the jobs. All the demons coming into Ahriman, ruining our life, our way of life. We gotta stop the demons. We gotta stop. We gotta stop the tyrannies of the world. I'm telling you, all those warlocks. I rewatched a clip. They made a clip of the unhinged Brennan Mulligan as the shopkeeper, who's like talking about, we had a little bit of honey. We have honey for these fairy traps, and then we drown them, and then we burn them with holy water, and it's so unhinged. It's just a weird moment of just Mulligan with Mulligan talking madness, right up there with his Donald Trump impression of Sauron. I almost pissed myself. So I wish I was good at painting minis. I'm a painter, but I'm not good at painting minis. V Muse, shout out to V Muse, who works at WizKids Games, by the way. Give them a shout out. Check out what they do. V is a ridiculously good miniature painter, super talented, works at WizKids Games. Check out V Muse. Yeah, bardic inspiration to everybody out there. I wish I could just make that happen for you. Yeah. And thank you everyone in super chat. We're three super chats away from the goal. The Tyrannies are all reporters in each of the cities of Ahriman. Interesting. Yeah, check out VMuse on socials. Very, very, very good at. I was acrylic on canvas. Yeah. How did you know? Well, okay, I did acrylic on canvas, but I'd also, you can do acrylic on anything. I also did on just pieces of wood. What is your favorite shop one of your characters has walked into? The ones he owned. I had a character, goblin character owned a hot dog factory made out of different meats from around the D&D universe. D&D Hero Clicks would be cool. Oh, I'm not going political. I'm just going, I'm going fantasy political. I think fantasy political is highly hilarious and a fun space for commentary. I'm always really suspicious of elves in D&D fantasy settings. Gnome Deposit is always a favorite. Oh, Gnome Depot. Gnome Depot is pretty great. I have nerve damage from the military, so I had hand tremors. Painted minis are so difficult. Yeah, that's terrible. Oh, that's cool. That's gotta also feel good to like give money to someone who paints minis and get that back. That's gotta be really gratifying. That's a personal experience. Down with the sundered houses. That's right. Screw those sundered houses, everybody. And the Tachonises. I think the Tachonis family wants to rule the world. 1000%. Yeah. And again, the Tachonis family is so tied to death and the plane of shadow, and the fact that the dead are brimming over, and that the membrane between the prime material world and the realm of shadow is about to burst. I still think we're going to get an apocalyptic moment in the world of Ahriman. Orc Strong Houses Fall is a legit cool t-shirt. What's your fave realm? What's my fave realm? What's your fave realm or plane? Ooh. Wow, Smitey Smite, thank you so much for the 10 gift subs. Thank you so much. That's wild. We appreciate you. Smitey Smite 2368, thank you so much. What's my favorite realm? Ziggy the Bard. Thank you so much. That's so kind. I love when people gift other people memberships. That's huge. Yeah, there's 2 sundered houses we don't know much about. Favorite plane? In D&D, I like Ravenloft within the Shadowfell. I like the Feywild a lot. I think the Feywild has potential to be scarier than anything in the Hammer horror type Shadowfell universe. I really like Ravenloft, I really do. But I think I like a dark Feywild. And by dark, I mean, it's not just happy-go-lucky fairies and stuff. It's dark fairy stuff. It's hags. It's red caps. It's deals with fey creatures. It's Mr. Strange and Dr. Morell. Stuff like that. I like the Feywild with a threat. So I like Labyrinth. I'd argue Labyrinth is skewing dark fantasy. I like the Goblin King. Magic the Gathering just came out of the trailer with Jim Henson. Jim Henson's company and his son. And I love that. I love it. Now, I wasn't in love with the Dark Crystal TV series. I think there's too much shaky cam during action scenes. I think there's too many lore drops. Too much plot. Too much actual politics in terms of, like, we have all these different branches of Gelflings. It felt like too much for Dark Crystal. Dark Crystal should not be more complex than Ring of Power or Lord of the Rings. That's my hot take on that. But the puppetry, beautiful. So I'm in love with Labyrinth. I'm in love with Dark Crystal. I'd argue these are dark fantasies. Legend, weirdly enough, with Tom Cruise. Absolutely amazing. Mark Stewart, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Dark Fae is like Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, I think it's that kind of stuff. That's where I like to live. I like horror Feywild. How about that? Dark Fae. Dark Fae is the sweet spot. That's witches and stuff, man. And we're eating well for witches. Agatha, all along, great witch show. Dune Prophecy, not as good as the movies, but I think we're getting a season 2, and I would like to see them hit the sweet spot with Dune, with Prophecy. I love the Bene Gesserit witches. I just want kind of less of the main villain in that show. I think there's some pacing issues. Absolute amazing acting. What was the other witch show? Oh, we got the Dathomir witches in Ahsoka, and I didn't love Ahsoka. I'm not gonna lie, folks. Ahsoka was not my jam in any way, shape, or form. And I felt like really overly long takes between actors. I didn't understand the editing choices in Ahsoka, or even some of the acting choices. And by the way, acting choices, I mean the director telling the actors to do something. But seeing the Dathomir witches appear in that show, loved it. Zombie stormtroopers, come on. Love that scene. I watched that scene over and over again. And Aaron Soon from Farscape playing one of the Dathomir witches. Claudia Black. But I don't think she's coming back for season 2, which totally sucks. What a distinctive voice. Disagree, but I respect your opinion on the Dark Crystal Netflix series. Wish they did season 2. Yeah, I wish they got a second chance. I was watching that last episode though. KJ Coates 123. The action scene between them and the Gelflings, the shaky cam was making me sick. It was too much for me. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm sad that Claudia Black isn't there. What? Sam is the one who directed one of those episodes, and Sam was one of the zombie stormtroopers? Are you messing with me? Sorry, I just got very loud. Dude, are you pulling my leg? Maleficent. I didn't love Maleficent 2. I didn't hate it. I loved Maleficent 1. Yeah, I'm already ready for my 9 season 2. I agree. That was so well done. Dude, who doesn't want to be a zombie stormtrooper? I gotta tell you, they're never gonna let me do a Star Wars movie. Because if I got a chance to play a zombie stormtrooper, I'd be professional. I would do my role. And the moment that my role was done and they yelled cut, I would effing run in that armor and makeup. I would run for the nearest exit door. I'd already have a friend ready in a car or a van, and I would jump in that van and we'd drive off with that costume. And then I would wander LA or wherever we were taking selfies all day long, taking videos, making a music video. I don't know what, but I would run for the hills. They wouldn't catch me. I am too tall to be a stormtrooper. I would never get cast. You're right. But I'd hunch down. I'd run for the frickin' hills. This armor is mine, suckers. So that's why I'm not gonna get hired for Star Wars. I got passed up as an extra for the postman because I was too tall. Yeah. Nightmarishly tall. It's very hard to get work as an extra when you're super tall amongst a lot of other people, unless the intent is to show a difference in height. I could be a Wookiee. I don't like Wookiees, and I don't like being that hot and sweaty. What else is tall? Droid. Could be some type of giant bulky droid. They tend to be super thin and not wide, though. Imperial Guard, maybe? Super tall bounty hunter? Intimidating farmhand. I probably wouldn't run around with that costume. Who doesn't like Wookiees? I am. That just seems like a hot, sweaty mess. I gotta itch my nose. I'm so sorry, guys. 1 second. All right. God. Charles 2450 with a super chat of $5. It seems to be true. Sam has a Wikipedia entry about it. Holy crap. All right. If I see Sam again, I'm gonna ask him about that. 6 foot tall Ewok is weird. There were some Jawas that are tall, by the way. Go back to Star Wars A New Hope. Some of those Jawas are tall. Watch it. They have the Jawas rolling out, and there's a couple of Jawas that are normal height. It is so freaking weird. IG-89 is taller, more threatening cousin. That's pretty hilarious. She was a cinematographer, but she does direct. I know that for sure. Sam's so supportive. I constantly see Sam posting on social media about the stuff that his wife does. There are tall Jawas in New Hope. People, find those clips, man. They're tall Jawas. I always remember being a little kid watching A New Hope and being like, okay, so what's the deal with tall Jawas? Are they alpha Jawas? What is going on? Tall Jawas are weird. Zombie Bothans. Tall Mandalorian. Yeah, Mandalorians can be tall. 294 people. That's insane. Thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah, we're just warming up. We got an hour and 10 minutes until the main event, until we jump into the world of Ahriman. We're just kind of hanging out. We did if you want to zoom to the very beginning, I did a breakdown of the original episode from episode 10 and things that we suspect with this episode. We think this episode's going to be split in two. So we're going to start with the soldiers table, and then we're going to end it with the schemers table. And we think it's going to have some pretty hard-hitting stuff to do with our friend Hal. $5 super chat again from Charles 2450. When you talk to Sam about it, you have to ask him, aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper? We'll see how that one goes. He'll be like, I never heard that one before. Leave more likes, everyone. These are rookie numbers. Wow, that's a lot of pressure on everybody. Hey, let's break 300. I always wondered about reaching out to the Reddit community on Critical Role. I don't know. I haven't hung out there a ton. I wonder how... is it pretty healthy? I don't know. I don't know. You would know better than me. All right. I'm going to look through chat and a couple other things real quick, so I might be temporarily quiet, so I apologize. Let's see. There we go. Wow, everybody. Sorry I got quiet, man. There's a helicopter like directly over my house just now. So I'm like, they're chasing somebody. Somebody's being chased. Just looking through. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Good, 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 good. All right. I'm back. You got my full attention. Apologize for the pause. Bit late for supporting bringing Danny to the show or something. That'd be really fun. Again, for a one-off Todd as a Goliath. Yeah, I know. I'm tall. I'm a tall boy. Cameron Crowe type interview or Goliath would be pretty funny. Todd, you can do a Tusken Raider. Yeah. Oh, you got to interview the stormtrooper that bumped his head? That's so fun. Hey, listen, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Folks, when it comes to rules, I get rules wrong all the time as a dungeon master. I make exceptions to rules. I screwed up. I did a double counter spell to one of my players, and I felt so bad for her. She must have really felt like kind of helpless to get anything done because I think she counterspelled that counterspell, and then I counterspelled it. And yeah, you make mistakes. You make mistakes, and you don't try to do it on purpose. They are borrowing. So Mulligan is actually allowing rogues to use unarmed strikes as sneak attacks, which I think is really cool and on point. And yeah, some of the spells, I mean, sure, there's gonna be changes, man. You have to adjudicate the rules in a massive amount of them in a very short amount of time. Don't rail against people for getting the rules wrong, because I'm gonna tell you, I get them wrong all the time, and I've been doing this since I was 8. So it's gonna happen. The most important thing is fun. I don't know, man. I'm living a pretty tame life these days. What if Todd guested interviewing Liam's character would be pretty funny. Yeah, we don't see a lot of D&D journalists within Critical Role, within the world of Critical Role journalists. Wait, Todd was a pixie? That would be hilarious. I'm a very tall pixie. I let my players treat a rapier as a light weapon. It's weird that it's not considered one. Have you used a rapier? There's nothing to that. I mean, it's It's definitely a finesse weapon. I've owned rapiers. I own daggers that are heavier than rapiers. Is my point. Yeah, remember we're like people watching a football game, watching Critical Role. So we have like we got thousands upon. Do you have a start playing? I don't. Yeah, I've thought about jumping on, start playing, and professionally dungeon mastering for sure. I'm not there quite yet, but it's definitely something I'd consider doing, especially if it was with a group, a pre-existing group of friends. I think I would do it. That way I knew everyone got along ahead of time. Yeah, I don't prefer a lot of crunch with my rules. I'm more theater of the mind. Um, I tend to like Daggerheart and D&D the most. Yeah, so rapiers are a lot more like fencing swords. So I mean, I know for a fact the daggers I own are heavier than a rapier or even a fencing sword. Well, I mean, a fencing sword's significantly lighter than a rapier. Yep. A lot of people confuse rapiers with fencing foils. I would never use I guess they did use fencing foils a few times. You can kill someone with a sharp-tipped rapier. I mean, a fencing sword, but not the same thing. Any thoughts on the Universal... What? Oh, the Universal Studios and D&D experience. I don't have thoughts on it. I know we tried that. Love to be able to wield dual scimitars. Yeah. One of my favorite characters was from an old Robin Hood TV series in the 80s with Sean Connery's son, who was Robin for half of that series. There's a brown-haired Robin and then a blonde Robin. I don't know that like Sean Connery's son is much in that role. But one of the really cool characters had two scimitars in it, and he dual wield swords, and I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Which Baldur's Gate 3 companion would you be? Shit. I don't know. I mean, I'm not as foppish as Asterion. I like Halsin, but I haven't spent enough time with Halsin. Like a male version of Karlach? Not sure. Do you think tonight's episode will be a fusion of two episodes, considering the unusual cutoff? I do. I think it's going to be the fusion of two episodes. Yeah, it'll be pretty funny if Brennan has two different shirts in this episode. Though they may purposely have him wear the same clothes they wore to try to not shine too heavy of a light on it. Does shovel count? Yes! I would be... Sorry, got loud. Shovel! I would be Shovel. Shovel. For those that don't know, big shout out to Shovel. Who mentioned Shovel? A.K.A. Flop85. Shovel. Alright, I'm going to be right back. Because I'm going to show you Shovel. Does everyone know who Shovel is? Tell everyone in chat who Shovel is. I'm doing the thing. All right. Let's see if we did. No, I didn't do it. Shovel. Boom. Let's change up the lighting. God, so many spam calls, folks. Okay. We're going to mix up the lighting, everybody. Hold on. I got someone at my door. Hold on. I'm going to mic. I apologize, everybody. My dog's freaking out. Wow. The interruptions today. Sorry, someone rang my doorbell who's going door to door, hit my doorbell, and my dog lost his mind. So, I mean, I feel bad for anyone who's going door to door. That's a rough gig, 100%. But I also, it drives my dog insane when people ring the doorbell like that. So, yeah. Try to be empathetic. Yeah, I know. It's like physical spam. Let's change the lighting in here. Let's see what we got going on. What's a good color for shovel? That's a weird color. All right. We're shovel colored now. Oh God, the green made the auto color correct make me purple. All right. That was pretty funny. What does red do? That's creepy. All right, we're back in it, everybody. Sorry for all the interruptions we got going on. It's been a little wild over here. But yeah, shovel is... I would be shovel. I'd be shovel. That's what I'd be doing. Yes, I do. Back when I had money, I got a whole bunch of Hue light bulbs, and so I can control the lights, which is nice. But yeah. Those light bulbs are expensive, so hard to afford those now on a unemployment salary for sure. Yeah, the red looks pretty cool. It's kind of fun. Yeah, it's like sepia tone. I don't know if you want to nerd out real quick. I had my wife Fang and I were in Legends of the Multiverse with Brennan, Mulligan, Aabria, Iyengar, and just a who's who of like Debris on Wall. We were all in the same live play show, and I didn't get to show it off. I was so proud. I found... So there's this thing you can do actually where you can desaturate your face naturally, not using a filter. With specific colors. So I was able to light myself with the right hue of blue and green to turn my skin tone gray. But what I was wearing would still have color. So I found the exact right coloring in my lights, both in the background and in front of me, to make me black and white, essentially. The right color balance to turn my skin tone to be completely neutral. It took forever to figure this out. I probably spent a day or two doing this. So I was gray, but items in the room would still have color. And like the room still had its own color, basically what was happening, and I was black and white. Now I'm sure there's an app that can just do that for you, but to do that with lighting was totally crazy. Yeah, we are 51 minutes out to the main event. 290, 300 people in the live stream. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out. And this is where we get loose. So ask me anything. You can ask me anything about any of my experiences interviewing folks, D&D, interviewing the cast, about what my thoughts on the Mighty Nine were. I'm a pop culture obsessed person as well, so I'm always happy to dive into that. I didn't see your super chat. Bear Capitals. Oh, yeah. I have a group of friends looking for a dungeon master in Seattle. Oh, wow. Interesting. I don't know if I would do it in person, but that's something definitely to consider. That's good to know. Yeah, maybe I'll have to start playing or something on Patreon. Yes, I've seen Dogma. Dogma is really fun. There is a new UA right now. The new UA is Mystic subclasses, not to be confused with the Mystic. Previous Unearthed Arcana, there is a kind of a spell casting monk with spell slots. We've got a rogue that can steal magic. We've got a paladin that is very anti-wizard, that can buff the party, prevent spells from affecting them, and also attack spellcasters. The paladin is basically death to spellcasters, and then a warlock that is essentially a pet class that has the remnants of a dead god. So now I know everyone misses the Mystic. I gotta tell you, the Scion class, I believe Ben Petrosor was the main driving force behind. That's in Unearthed Arcana right now, is so good. I love it. It's probably the best version of Psionics that I've seen in D&D. So that's a big shout out to Ben Petrosor and the design team for how well the Scion class ended up. Yeah, the Paladin gets Counterspell. Okay, not only does the Paladin get Counterspell Rat Shadows, at one point, one of its abilities, it can attack someone. No, one of its abilities is if someone casts a spell near it, it can make a melee attack on that spellcaster. And later on, when it does that reaction to attack that spellcaster, you can also cast frickin' Counterspell at the same time. This Paladin is OP. This Paladin shuts down casters in a way I've never seen before. It's nasty, nasty business. So, and a good tank. Yeah, it's kind of everything all at once. It is a mean-ass Paladin. Yeah, it's nasty shit. Yeah, go check it out on UA. I also did a live stream going over the video. Skip to the Paladin part and you'll see. Also, it does nasty business to intelligence saving throws, I believe. And that sucks for sorcerers. It's definitely a witch hunter build. Yeah, good point. Yeah, it is a walking EMP. Yeah, its whole emanation and everything else is just nasty too. It's a lot. It's a lot. The new Paladin's a lot. I hate it as a caster. We're almost 45 minutes out, everybody. Thank you for all hanging out in chat. I really appreciate all of you and all. Yeah, pairs very well with Mage Slayer. Yeah, how would you not take that feat? So yeah, Mage Slayer feat with that Paladin, just nastiness. I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the rogue. Something forces an intelligence saving throw. It might be the paladin, which really sucks if you're like a sorcerer. Thank you, Rat Shadows, for joining. Welcome to Roll with Advantage. I really appreciate that. Thank you for becoming a member. I don't know what Obladra Drought is. No, new paladins are quite good, actually. And, frankly, that smites had to be nerfed. Smites were out of control. Sorry, everybody. I saw double smite get abused at so many tables. It was so freaking boring for everyone who wasn't a paladin. I know, controversial opinion, but it got tiresome. In a couple of my games, I saw players abuse it to the point where it just wasn't fun for anyone else. They would do Nova damage, and it just got got sucky. Everyone's doing two levels into Hexblade, and then Paladin, and a little bit of Sorcerer. Just the dumbest builds. Yeah, hated it. And I like optimizing. I do. I enjoy it as a pastime, but Paladins need to get nerfed. So, Paladins are in a good place right now. Yeah, Nova, then short rest. It's very true. Boy, but Warlocks are nasty now in 2024. Sorcerers are arguably the best class in the game for power, I think. Aberrant Soul Sorcerer is really strong. I do have a very strong case for Wild Magic Sorcery right now. So, that is a whole thing. No. Oh, that's too much. Paladin. See, this is the kind of shit. Yep, I ran a game with someone like that. They're a Paladin 2, Hexlock 3, Swords Bard. They're using full casting behind a smite. Sucks, man. This is multi-classing. The game isn't actually... The game's kind of balanced for maybe two multi-class, like one multi-class. You know, just two classes combined. But really, the game D&D was never balanced to be two classes. But it's part of the legacy of D&D. And so when you get people who are multi-classing to 3 or 4 classes, it gets stupid. There's no way to really moderate that kind of stuff. It's just damaging. Oh, any idea how to roll more on the Wild Magic table? Yeah, I do. Are you joking? I talk about this all the time. Wild Magic Sorcery. So, yeah, the breakdown is you're a Wild Magic Sorcerer. Here's how you break it down for combat. I'm going to do a whole video on this. So play Wild Magic Sorcery. The goal is to roll on the Wild Magic Sorcery table as often as you possibly can. Here's how you do it. You have a core ability as Wild Magic Sorcerer. 2, give yourself advantage on a roll. Whether that's like a social roll, a skill roll, a D20 test, basically, or, trying to hit someone with like Firebolt. So say you have Firebolt. You want to cast Firebolt. You want to give yourself advantage. Now, you can't do this again until you cast a spell or roll on the Wild Magic Surge table. So you give yourself advantage on Firebolt. You then bonus action a leveled spell. So maybe you drop a Fireball, Firebolt, action, bonus action, Fireball with Quicken Spell. That forces you to roll on the Wild Magic Surge table. You roll on the Wild Magic Surge table, and then you get a new spell-like effect. And then, next turn, you do it again. Firebolt, give yourself advantage. Bonus action, quicken the spell. Roll on the Wild Magic Surge table. And do it again. And again. Transfer your spells from your spell slots to convert. It doesn't even take a bonus action anymore. Each turn, into sorcery points, and you are rolling on the wild magic surge table every single turn. You are, in effect, getting 3 magical effects per turn. And if you want to double up on even more madness, you already have an 8% chance to actually roll on the wild magic surge table and get an extra action. This is an action surge. It's an extra action where you can cast another leveled spell. On top of this, play human. Humans start the day with Heroic Inspiration. Heroic Inspiration you get very often already, but this guarantees it. And when you roll in the Wild Magic Search table, it's a D100. So technically, you can use Heroic Inspiration to reroll any roll. That includes your Wild Magic Surge, and now you've increased the odds of you getting an extra action or spell effect again. So I went to D&D in the castle. I played a Wild Magic Sorcerer for 3 days straight. I'd say about 26 hours in total, maybe 27 hours of Wild Magic Sorcery from levels 1 to 18, 16. And I consistently outdamaged everyone in the group. I murdered everything in our path. Wild Magic Sorcery may be the most powerful subclass in the game. Is there chaos with that? Sure. But is it as consistent as, say, the Aberrant Mind? No. But yeah, I'm working on a video right now about Wild Magic Sorcery, and I thought about reaching out to Colby to check my math. So Colby is Colby D4, everybody. I need to reach out to Colby. What a nice person. I was laid off. I was really sad and kind of down. And Colby reached out and wanted to interview me about what was going on with me and my plans. And Colby, just the nicest human being. What a kindness. Go watch D4 Deep Dive with Colby. Wonderful human being. Great character builds. Super positive, super kind. He is absolutely the person you see on the tin. Very, very kind human being. So, yeah. I'm excited. Critical Role is back, and we got 300 people in chat. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm obligated to tell you, hit the bell notification. There's 300 people watching. Everyone needs to hit the bell notification. Send off if you've done it. Like and subscribe. It really is important. Colby is a super nice dude. You know what? I do want to shout out real quick. I want to shout out the Dungeon Dudes. So kind for having me in Toronto. They didn't know it, though. But, you know, big shout out to Deborah Wall, who invited me out to check out Tales from Wood Creek, which is an excellent show on the Dungeon Dudes YouTube channel. Deborah Wall, just a super nice, wildly talented human being. Big shout out to the Dungeon Dudes for always being so nice to me at conventions. And being such a really fun show to watch. Oh my God, 20 gift subs. Thank you so much, Matt Boozley. That's so kind. Holy shit. Ginny D. Ginny D is giving me such great advice and insights to being a YouTuber. And certainly I've done it multiple times. Ginny is a genius. Super kind. And we have a love of analytics. So Ginny D, just a wonderful human being, and I don't reach out to these people to tell them this stuff enough. Anjali was another wonderful human being. D4 Deep Dive, wow. I mean, to have someone reach out to me and like check in on me was so kind. And then the folks at Legends of Vantress, Mikey, such a positive person. Peter from Demiplane. So many people I interviewed at Gen Con. Just Annika from Hero Forge. Some just the nicest people you can meet. Going to Gary Con just changed my life last year. So hopefully I get to go again this year. Yeah, but those people, their support and advice and kindness really buoyed me in a really otherwise dark time. That job was my dream job. Getting laid off from your dream job, especially when you are doing so well. I got 150 million views the previous year. Last year, before I got laid off, I think we were already at 80% of the views from the previous year for my live play show. Especially coming off MagicCon, my coverage of the Monster Manual, we were killing it. So it's always, if you think you're not doing a good job, it's never a shock when you lose a job, even in a layoff. When you're doing fantastic at your job, and everyone likes you and you get laid off, it's really weird. So it's definitely a shock to your whole sense of, I don't want to say sense of good and evil, but it rocks your perspective on life. How about that? I'm really excited to be part of the Eldritch Lorecast. Those folks are so nice and kind to talk to. I love being on that show and getting that socialization, and getting to hang out with the folks at Eldritch Lorecast. It's really, I'm so happy to be a host there because I just get to hang out with a bunch of other nerds and talk about D&D and tabletop stuff. So, yeah, I love Eldritch Lorecast. Hey, man, I also can't fathom it. I'm not going to lie. I'm in a lot better positive headspace right now, but, I've never really gone over it. I'm not going to lie. I guess it's because I couldn't have worked harder in a worse time in my life. My dad's been really sick. I have family members who are sick, and that's been a real struggle. Either flying back and forth travel, just worrying, doing research. For those that have ever had a sick family member, you know what I'm talking about. To have multiple sick family members is a lot. Multiple people who are close to you that are sick. And still doing my job and still doing the best job I've ever done and working as hard as I've ever done. And then still getting laid off. Yeah, it's a shock, man. I'm not going to lie. And that's not me being negative. It's just you feel like you're in a boxing match and your bell gets wrong. It's pretty weird. Yeah, it messes with your perception of, it's weird to say, but your perception of good and evil. Judi Dench plays D&D. I think I've heard that. Yeah, no, it's okay. Sorry if it's trauma dumping in any way. I don't mean to. I just think it's very... just take... What you should be taking from that is all of you have hard times. I think it's important for you all to know I've had a hard 2 years. Oh, man. Getting laid off right before buying a house. Getting laid off and anything dealing with a house is terrifying. With wife and kids... Yeah, it's awful, dude. It's awful. It's so scary. The job market's so bad. Very funny, worlds. It's podcast at ghostfiregaming.com. You're doing amazing. Thank you so much. Dude, getting laid off during COVID is just dark. That's awful. Yeah, totally. We got 30 minutes until the next episode of Critical Role. We did it, folks. We got 290 people in chat. We're just hanging out, having a good time. My voice, I'm going to lose my voice. Then I'm going to watch a 5-hour show. Now I'll see you tomorrow. This show is way more popular than the Breakdown show, by the way, which is pretty funny. But I appreciate all you hanging out. Go ahead and hit me up with questions, comments, theories. Love to hear them. I know some people asked about death count. I think we're going to lose somebody. I do. And I don't think we're going to lose any cast members if there's a death in any of these games or this game. I think they're going to end up playing a different character, or maybe we're going to see a little bit beyond the curtain of what the world of the dead is like. Yeah. 294 viewers. This is ridiculous. Oh, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Do you think we're going to get an animated version of Bell's Hells? I do. Or will they start adapting Campaign 4 while it's still developing? I think we'll get Bell's Hells. I mean, I'm assuming Amazon would be down. I hear a lot of weird stuff about how Mighty 9 did. I think Mighty 9 still did really well. You would pay serious money to see me play D&D with Judi Dench? I would pay money to play with Judi Dench. I will run a game for Judi Dench right effing now. Get me on a plane, fly me to London. I will run a game for Judi Dench. And I'll throw up a lot before I do it. Hopefully not in front of Dame Judi Dench. This is going to be anxiety, dry heaving everywhere. That's what it's going to be, folks. I don't actually throw up when I have panic attacks. But for those that know, you know, my fellow panic disorder folks. Yeah, I like Mighty 9. So I love Vox Machina. I really like Mighty 9. So I think Mighty 9 was ambitious and freaking amazing. Wow, we got 307 people watching. That's great. You want to watch Judi Dench run a meat grinder? I do too. Judi Dench is amazing. You know what? I would love... Who's the actress from... her name. She's in Night Manager. She was the only thing good about Secret Wars. Was it Secret Wars? There's two secrets in Marvel. There's Secret Wars and there's Secret something. The really bad Marvel TV series, let's face it. There's this actress, Olivia Colman. Get her in a D&D game. Oh, I hear a wife. A wife with elf ears. Did you have a good Magic the Gathering experience?
I did. I played all the lowering cards.
If you've ever wondered if we're a nerdy family, you know now. I love you. Invasion. Secret. Yeah, Invasion. Olivia Colman. God. I really hated that series. Secret Invasion. But Olivia Colman was the best thing about it. Bring Olivia Colman back into other Marvel shows. Can you imagine Olivia Colman in Winter Soldier? Hot damn. What a great actress. So funny every time. Oh, I need to check out Broadchurch. Yeah, Laura Wynn's going to be epic. And that trailer, oof. So good. The new book is based on this campaign? What new book? When Judi Dench remember Henry Cavill play Warhammer. That's a show right there. I love John Lee Carr. Yeah, John Lee Carr. If you like John Lee Carr, big Slow Horses is a love letter to John Lee Carr. Yeah, the puppets are hilarious. She just didn't have enough green makeup to be a goblin today. Ooh, Andy Serkis and the 40K thing would be fun. Yeah, Henry Cavill, man, he's due. How do I put this nicely? I really love everyone in the cast for the last season of The Witcher. I think all the actresses and so many of the actors are doing a great job. I think it is impossible to replace Henry Cavill as The Witcher. And that's not a knock on any actor who tries. Henry Cavill has a presence and a deep love for The Witcher that you cannot replace. So it sucks about how he found out about Superman. What a colossal F up that was for communication. And I like this new Superman. But I did like Henry Cavill's Superman. I would have liked to see him play more of a typical Superman that's a little jokey and a little more fun. I think Henry Cavill has good humorous instincts. I'm going to blow some of your minds, everybody. Have you seen... Oh, no. I just forgot. How did I forget this? Oh, my God. Some people in chat are probably way ahead of me. Do you want the biggest Marvel crossover, DC crossover event in history? Guess what it is? Well, other than the fact that Henry Cavill is a dope-ass Wolverine. Henry Cavill Wolverine. I know we're not getting Henry Cavill permanently as Wolverine, but goddamn, that was like one of the best. What a great cameo that was. Holy shit. He was in Midsummer Murders? Everyone was in Midsummer Murders. They're killing everybody. Ah. Okay. If you want to see the absolute youngest Henry Cavill, the Cavalrine is real. Stardust. Now, despite the fact that the writer for Stardust is not a great person, whose name is Neil, well, despite that awfulness, Robert De Niro's amazing. Michelle Pfeiffer is amazing, but Henry Cavill is in it. Richie Gervais is in it, and Charlie Cox is the main character. Charlie Cox, Daredevil, is bullied by Henry Cavill. Daredevil is bullied by Superman in Stardust. And we got Ian McKellen as the narrator. We got Claire Danes as a character. Ben Barnes is young Dustin. That is insane. I would not have called that from memory. Pierre O'Toole is in it. Mark Strong is in it. I don't know, folks. Sienna Miller is in this. It is a wild movie. Go check it out. So go watch Stardust. That's me plugging Stardust. What an all-star cast. Super fun. Go check it out. Charlie Cox is great in it. And Henry Cavill is funny as hell. Robert De Niro, murdering it. So funny. Oh yeah, I know. Robert De Niro. What a perfect film. That's one of those movies you play and you have no expectations. And I always remember that Joe was Flash. That was my introduction to Joe. So. Oh yeah, the pouch of divining bones and stardust is so cool. What a fun thing. Do that as a divination sorcerer for sure. Yeah, Robert De Niro is so great in Stardust. Perfection. Perfection, perfection, perfection. So fun. We are 20 minutes out from the show. Only 22 minutes until Red Bull F1 season launch. I can't drink Red Bull this late at night. If I do, it's the taurine. I actually decided to drink coffee. I was like, hey, what has more caffeine, Red Bull or coffee? And the internet told me it's coffee. But the taurine makes me crazy. I don't know if that's true for anyone else. I don't know what taurine is doing to me. It's wild. I don't trust it, everybody. That's my opinion. Thank you so much for all the super chats. I really appreciate you. We're at 7 out of 10. We've almost hit all the super chats. I think it's only triggered by $2 super chats. That's such a weird thing to do. I feel like we've had more than that. Oh well, it's fine. So split table today. I feel like this is going to be Halandil Fang's big episode. Big stuff happening with him. I've already had 5 copies. I've had 4. I'm on my 4th coffee right now. I'm doing the sloppy switch right now. For those that know, you know. Captain Brennan would be cool. Yeah, I just can't watch Neil Gaiman stuff anymore. That broke my heart. I was a massive fan of Good Omens, the book. I was a fan of Norse mythology. I attended 2 novel readings. And I was a big fan of Sandman. But it's tainted. Yeah, I just won't ever watch those shows again. Sucks. Because some just amazingly, well, some of my favorite actors in the world. But yeah. Yeah, it's a bummer. Don't be a bad person. Just don't be a bad person, man. It's not that hard. It takes 0 effort to be not a bad person. Yeah. Yeah, I was a big fan of Lucifer as well. Yeah, true. Lucifer, even the Lucifer TV series, pretty fun. Yeah, it sucks, man. I know some people can separate the person from the content they make, but good. I mean, good for you, I guess. I can't. Totally tainted. What's wrong with Sandman? The writer. Writer did some really stuff I wish I could have unread. Yeah. But let's move on. Too dark of a topic. I'm thankful for the people I get. I'm a little worried about the new Spider-Man movie, honestly. I don't know about Scorpion. I hear rumors that Scorpion is going to be the person who has the symbiote Venom this time. I don't think I'm down for that. I think I would rather just have Tom Hardy back as Venom with Spider-Man. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. I just don't care for a Scorpion version of Venom right now. I just want Eddie Brock against Tom Holland Spider-Man. That's all I want. I really like the Venom movies. I like Venom 1, 2, and 3, honestly. Venom 2 was weird. Carnage was totally weird. But, you know, I got through it. And it had some funny moments. Venom at the nightclub was hilarious. A wild wife appears. I love that that's your wild.
I'm a space invader.
You turned into a D. Resner from Tron. I agree. If Tom Hardy showed up in the new Spider-Man, I would scream. I don't think anyone dislikes Tom Hardy's Venom. Yeah, Venom 3. Yeah, Venom 3 I didn't mind. I thought Venom was fun. It's the red one. Eddie. I don't know how good that sounds. I practice, when Megan's not here, I just practice Tom Hardy voices all day. What's he say? Like a turd in the wind. I can't remember. It's the dumbest line. I've never heard a dumber line. I think Venom's line about he's going to bite his face off and leave his body in the street like a turd in the wind is as dumb as, do you know what happens to a frog that gets hit by lightning? The same as everything else. I'm like, that makes no sense, Storm. Let's hear your Bane. I haven't done Bane in a while. You fight like a much younger man. Admirable, but mistaken. I need to pitch it down a little bit. One was, God, I love Bane lines. It would be very painful for you. He has this cadence. The fire rises. Yeah, it's something along those lines. I had to practice to deepen it, but it's a little bit. It's true. I see where the cadence comes from. A very particular bare knuckle boxer that had this very specific way of talking. And so he's slowing it down for Bane. And you think this gives power over me? And you accept this man's resignation of the lies and the corrupt? That's how he talks. That's how Bane talks. Bane's very close to Walken, actually. It's a good call out. Christopher Walken is very close in the up and down. And you accept this man's resignation? Is the pitching, the going up and down is very, very, very Christopher Walken. So if you analyze Christopher Walken's voice and compare it to the Bane voice, those have so much in common. It's ridiculous. Anyone who can do Christopher Walken can do Bane. They expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. Oh, I screwed up, brother. Oh, that's very kind. Thank you, Ron Power. I'm just sitting there doing voice impressions, apparently, for the next 15 minutes. Stay a while and listen. Yeah, Bane's just a deep Christopher Walken. I used to be pretty good. Yeah, I mean, understand there's a little bit of modulation happening with Bane's voice as well. I was born in the dark. I was born in darkness. Yeah, I love Bane's cadence. Bane ordering McDonald's. I would like McNuggets, Diet Coke, and 2 large fries. All right. Megan is probably thinking I'm losing my mind up here right now. I will go to McDonald's and order that as soon as I'm off of keto. Yeah, the schemer's coming back. I don't know. Was that good? Was that a good Bane impression? Who can say? What was the other impression I was talking about? Oh, Venom. I'm glad everyone appreciates it. If there's anyone hiring for voice acting, reach out. Yeah. Well, Christopher Walken is a famous tap dancer. He loves tap, and he tries to work dancing into virtually every role he has. Venom. What? Venom ordering chicken at Popeyes or something. I don't know anything on the Popeyes menu. Oh, I don't know how to sound like Bane from the Harley Quinn show. I don't have that down. Thank you very much. You think my Bane's better than Venom? Oh, okay. I'm not hurt. Not really. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is the cutting edge Critical Role content you're going to get from my streams, everybody. Sam Rockwell, also a freaking legend. Jesus. Everyone, if you've seen White Lotus, Sam Rockwell. By the way, hated Sam Rockwell in Iron Man 2. That's how good and talented that man is. Sam Rockwell, MVP, amazing person ever. And when he's on White Lotus, to watch Walton Goggins have nothing left. Holy shit. Yeah, Venom. Eddie. Charles245, $2, almost that time. Have fun all and enjoy the show. We are very close. We're 12 minutes out, everybody. Thank you so much for being in chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you, Charles. Wow. Thank you all for listening to my terrible voice impressions. I'll work on stuff. Rockwell dancing is magic. I have such an appreciation for Rockwell and Walton Goggins now. Walton Goggins is murdering it in Fallout. Last episode of Fallout is like, let's frickin' go. Season 2 of Fallout started so slow, I was genuinely scared. And it's just surpassing the first season. Someone asked if you could stream. Someone asked if you had a stream schedule. I am curious as well. I will set one up for you. Yeah, I don't have one out right now. Life kind of changes pretty rapidly. But I will work on it. Venom and Bane as a buddy cop movie. I can't do both. I will lose my voice. I love doing Bane impressions. Yeah, I think Venom's pretty easy. A little bit of deep dive for all of you who are Venom fans. Venom did have a different voice actor who worked with Tom Hardy, who layered onto Tom Hardy's voice. But that voice actor actually passed away from Venom 1. And so Venom 2 and Venom 3 is actually Tom Hardy. So just a little fun fact. Oh yeah, Sam Rockwell in Galaxy Quest was effing insane. If you want to see an example of someone finding roles and murdering it, Sam Rockwell. Dude. The dude's like, so his wife is in White Lotus, and they're like, basically, hey, would you mind doing a cameo in White Lotus? And then he does that speech. Sam Rockwell is a nuclear bomb in terms of acting and control. Insane actor. Just preposterous. Feels like a target counter is stuck. I'm not paying enough attention. What about Venom as a symbiotic with Bane? Oh my god. Venom Bane? We're not ready for Venom Bane. He would like pull Dreadnought apart. Heroes of the Plains reboot. Yeah, that'd be fun to revisit that world. Yeah, Moon's really good. So Moon, I ended up seeing Moon and in Seattle, and it's David Bowie's son directed Moon. And I didn't meet him, but he did the introduction for the film when we screened it. And that was really cool. And Moon was a freaking good movie. Yeah, Kevin Conroy, man, as Batman. So good. Moon is a hard watch. Yeah, Moon's a hard watch. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah. Oh my god. What good casting for Zaphod. Beeble Brooks. Good lord. Yeah, Sam Rockwell, MVP. Well, thank you all for being in here. We got 8 minutes before the big episode. I appreciate all of you for showing up every single freaking week. Keep it up. Invite your friends, man. Post on the Reddits. Post on the socials. Get more folks in this game. We can always use more people. It's been really great. Well, we're winding down. So, well, I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed my voices. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're closing it out. Thank you so much for the super chats. Really appreciate that. Thanks for gifting subs and all the thank yous and gifting. Huge. Really helps. Made my target for the stream. I mean, I don't have a target other than hanging out with people, so it's been really great. White Lotus is a hard watch as well. I'm just letting you know. If you like to watch how awful rich people are, White Lotus. It's a different cast every season. Mostly. There's a few people who go on from season to season. But if you love watching rich people be shitty to rich people, mostly. Sometimes the rich people are shitty to poor people. Actually, often they are. It's a dark comedy. So, hard watch. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great night. I'm putting up the screen, everybody. Thank you so much. Be kind to each other.